It's your girl, Raw Truth and Uncut. I'm coming to you today with another What's in the Room. And I just want to begin to talk to some parents and grandparents on today. And I just want you to begin, no matter be you male or female, parent or grandparent, begin to hear out your children in this hour and begin to pay attention to their behavior. Begin to pay attention to their movements and their moments, and begin to check and see, see if they had a good day or a bad day at school. Begin to hear them all the way out in this hour because our children go through just like we go through, and many a times we quick to silence them and tell them, oh, go somewhere and sit down, or go somewhere and be quiet, or don't say this or don't say that. And most times and you're telling them don't act like this and don't act like that. Well, if they are acting out and they normally don't act out, just begin to know that it's someone in the environment and atmosphere that they're acting out like, or their spirit has transferred over onto them, because sometimes they can begin to hang with other kids and begin to act like them and take on what that child or those children are, acting as, or what have you. So I'm saying all that to say this on today. Begin to hear them out. Sometimes we can just ignore the red flags and the signs, of our children. The next thing we know, there's a uh-oh moment. Sometimes we as parents, we don't have the patience, or the grandparents, the parents or the grandparents don't have the patience for that child or those children, and you beginning to take out your frustrations or things that you're going through out on them. But let me tell you, you putting your pressure on them, and they have pressure dealing with the teachers at school, dealing with all the grown folks at school, and you never know what they're encountering at school. We're not there. So you got to begin to ask questions and hear them out. Every child is not lying when they saying that a teacher is mistreating them. Every child is not lying when they saying that they cussed them out. Every child is not lying when they begin to come to you multiple times and trying to tell you, but you're steady sending them to their room. You're steady telling them that you gonna handle it, but they're not seeing you fix it. They're not seeing you handle it. Then when they begin to get silent and get quiet, and they want to begin to take their own lives, it's too late. Begin to hear out your children. Listen to them. Give them a voice to speak. They don't always have to be wrong. They are not always wrong. They are always sometimes right. And we can be sometimes wrong, and sometimes we can be right. But we got to give them a voice. And I'm talking about our children that's between the ages of 6 all the way, I'll say I started at the age of 5, all the way to the 12th grade. It's time for us to hear these kids out and know what's going on in this time and in this season, because there's so much that is at stake, and it's time for us to hear them out. They are acting out. Why? Because we are allowing them to encounter any and everybody, and you want to be mad at them. But guess what, baby? I beg to differ. We can't be mad at them for something that we're opening the door to. You're sending them here, you're sending them there, you're doing this and you're doing that, before them. It's time for us to begin to hear these children out. This is why so much is happening to our babies, and we are going to be held accountable for not listening to these children. Some of them are sounding the alarm and trying to sound the alarm, but you all are study silencing them, telling them to be quiet, shut up, you're talking too much, you're this and that. Okay, but guess what? God might be saying the same thing to us. Shut up, sit down, you're talking too much, be still, don't go here, don't go there, don't do this, don't do that. The same thing you telling them is the same thing that God can be telling you. Come on here, I'm telling you today, begin to hear out these children. What they see you do is, guess what, is what they going to act out in this hour and in this season. So you have to be careful what you're doing, and some of the things that they are seeing, they may not be liking. So I'm telling you today, my friend, begin to hear me out with what's in the room, because baby, these children are trying to tell you that they're being tampered with. They're trying to tell you that they're being touched. They're trying to tell you that they're being cussed out. They're trying to tell you different things, but you are studying, so wrapped up, tied up, and tangled up with yourself and what you want, what you need, how you want it, when you want it, where you want it, until they is not wanted. Come on here, somebody. I'm going to keep it raw, truth, and uncut. You not even want them. You just want what you want, when you want it, how you want it. But guess what? It's fixing to become a time that you going to have to sit down, and you going to have to be quiet, and you going to have to hear them. I'm telling you, you can't continue to shut them out, because God speaks through these children. And if you just pay attention, you will begin to know that He's speaking through them. And some of them, not all, but we can begin to make a difference between these children. We got to know without a shadow of a doubt when we are making a difference between our babies, our children, whether they are young or whether they're old. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, I just begin to sit back and watch and see a lot of young ladies mistreating their children. I don't know if it's because of the father, the daddy, let me say, that is not, in the life of the child, and you're taking it out on that child, but it's not that child's fault. And I'm telling you, whatever source of help that you have, begin to be grateful and thankful for that. Because guess what? It don't have to be that you're receiving. We got to stop being so ungrateful. And I'm jumping ahead of myself. Let me go back to making a difference between the children. Let me say to you, parents, you know and you are aware if you are making a difference between your children. Because guess what? You gonna have that unction and that feeling, that woman intuition, I should say. You will have that woman intuition giving you that feeling that, hey, that's not right. Don't do this. Don't do that. And if you're not aware, baby, begin to check yourself. And because those children are seeing it and you're ignoring it, and I'm telling you, it's just not right and it's not fair to them. So I'm saying all that to say, begin to watch your children in this hour, or even your grandchildren, because there are some grandparents that have custody of their grandchildren. So I'm telling you, begin to watch the grandchildren. And if your grandchildren have different grandparents, don't allow the children to be at odds of how one is treated, or as if one is better than the other because one got something and one didn't. Let me tell you today, my friend, begin to search yourself and begin to put that thing in place, because these children are very wise and they are smart. And I'm telling you that God will not be pleased with the way we're doing things with our children and grandchildren. So begin to allow God to perfect that thing. I have to say myself, I got some prayers on the burner, and asking God to show me what's what and who's who in this hour and in this season, because I want to know certain things. I won't disclose that of which I'm speaking of, but I just want you to know that I'm asking God, and I'm only bringing this about because I don't want to make a difference between my grandchildren and my children's children. I want to treat them the same, but I'm not going to go out of my way trying to make one happy, and knowing that you started blasting me on Facebook, you started blasting me, on social media or behind the scenes to other people, and things are getting back to me. I will not even partake in that. I will just forever just be distant with that grandchild. And I'm telling you that God will not allow nobody to make a fool out of his people in this hour and in this season. I don't care who you are and where you are. And that's just like with myself. God is not going to allow me to mistreat now one of mine or make a difference between one of mine. There's too many of them. If you let me see them, so be it. If you don't still, so be it. I'm still going to love them. I'm still going to pray for them and ask God to fix whatever it is going on with them or with that parent. I just truly believe in my heart that God will begin to turn things around. And I don't want my grandbabies being mistreated. If there's another grandmother, I don't want the grandchildren to be mistreated. And this is what's in the room. Why? Because this is what I'm bringing today, because it's something that's been on my heart during my downtime. The reason I hadn't been posting, making videos. And so this has been on my heart. And I just truly thank and appreciate God that I can keep it raw, truth, and uncut. I am not fixing to let nobody put me in a box. And I ain't fixing to let nobody make me feel guilty of that which I am not doing. I am not going to run behind and do none of that to suck up and kiss her. We shouldn't have to do that. We just pray and give it to God and move on. And that's all we can do. And I'm just saying to some of you grandmothers that's out there that will hear this video, know that you know without a shadow of a doubt that you have other grandbabies by different baby mamas. Don't put yourself in the predicament and the situation that you like some better than the other. And because God is not like that, and God is not in that. Whether you save or not save, it's still common sense, and you still know to do better. And I'm just saying, and I'm just speaking, I don't make a difference between my grandchildren, but there's just certain situations and certain circumstances that we cannot, that I cannot and I will not allow to come into my space. If I know that you're down in me and talking bad about me, I'm not fixing to go out of my way and try to make amends and to suck up and kiss up. Everybody has accountability in this thing when it comes to these children. And I feel like that, we need to get this thing right. All us grandmothers and all us parents. Okay, we are the adults. And if the children see us acting out and acting certain type of way, and hear the mama talking about the grandmama and on the daddy side and, or what have you, let me tell you, that's not a good look on your part either. And that's not making things better, because that's turning that child away from the family on the daddy side. No matter how you feel about the grandmother, if you say that that's my grandbaby, guess what? Then you need to be held accountable for that which you're doing and that which you're saying. And even if the grandbaby is, seeing the other grandma more than the other, you got to make that amends, because guess what? Everything is not that absent grandmother's fault. And we cannot begin to take blame for something somebody else is doing. I've never been a partaker of foolishness, and I'm not fixing to start. And I'm sure that you are listening to my voice, under the sound of my voice. You can attest to this, that, we can do only so much that we can do for our grandchildren, and what we feel led to do is not our responsibility to take them and raise them. It's not our responsibility to have to get them every weekend or however you see fit. Let it be at our own request. Let it be at our own liking. Let it be, in our timing, not because of what you want or what you think should be. That's not the way it goes. So begin to take accountability for your own actions, no matter who you are. And I may be speaking, about me, but it's what's in the room. on today. So I'm just saying all that to say today to some mothers and grandmothers, begin to get out your own way and hold yourself accountable of that which you're doing behind the scenes. You know, you're throwing rocks and hiding your hand to that grandmother. You won't let her see the child because you mad at the daddy or you mad at the mama. Come on, get yourself together and not partake in that, because the one that's hurting here is gonna be the child, you know. And don't be putting ill will spoken words into that child's mind and spirit. Your daddy's side of the family don't like you, they don't this and they don't that. Look, stop that, grow up, get mature, or you know, and begin to search yourself, because guess what? You ain't crossing every T and dotting every I either. You're not better than the next one. No baby mama is better than the next baby mama. I don't care how you got it going on. You're still no better than the next baby mama. So let me tell you, if there's more than one baby mama, and if there's just one baby mama, you know, get yourself together. You know, in this hour and in this season, life is too short to be playing little petty games and lying on the kids and having the kids lie to the parent, to the grandparent, and lie to their father, lie to their mama, you know, and you dragging in the stepdaddy, and you dragging in the girlfriend or the boyfriend. Come on, put that thing in its place, ladies, and put that thing in its place, gentlemen. It's time for you and for us to begin to get this thing right in this hour and in this season concerning these children. Hear them out. If they're telling you that the stepdaddy is doing this, that, and that, baby, begin to pull somebody aside in that family that you can trust and hear out that child. If that baby telling you that that stepmama is doing something to them, baby, you better hear them out, because they ain't always lying and they ain't always wrong. Hear them out in this hour. We got to hear them out in this season. I'm telling you, we got to get out the way and we got to let peace abide. But if they don't want to begin to bring about things, you know, the right way and bring about a truce, hey, begin to keep on, go and wipe the dust from your feet. You done your part. You done all you could do. But I'm telling you, me, myself, if I know that you putting your mouth on me and I know I have not wronged you and you're steady causing wrong between other baby mamas in the family, baby, I'm not finna partake with you. You throwing rocks and hiding your hand. Everybody ain't on Facebook. Everybody ain't on Instagram. Everybody is not on social media, and they can't see what you're doing, but it's getting back to them. So my thing to you today, begin to grow up and do your part in this hour and this season concerning your child or concerning your children, because guess what? One child is no better than the other. If there's an absent parent, or if there's both parents that's absent, let me tell you, there is no child greater than the other in my eyesight, because we're all filthy rags in the eyesight of God. And that's the same way I see us, because all of us are doing things that may not be pleasing and liking to one another or for one another. But the only way you'll get that thing resolved is you come together and do what needs to be done. And I am yours truly, Raw Truth and Uncut. This has been your What's in the Room.